I want to talk a little bit about a CPA service or a bookkeeping service that is a historian versus a growth partner. A historian will tell you what you owe on your taxes. A historian will tell you what your profit and loss is. A growth partner will invite you to talk to them about your profit and loss. A growth partner will keep your data up to date on a daily basis. We like to have our clients be able to check in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and see their dashboard up to the date. What happens when they start to understand their profit and loss statements a little bit better? Well, they ask more complex questions. When we start talking to people, they're asking questions like, why does my profit and loss not equal my bank account? Well, that's a low-end question. I like watching these questions grow. What excites me about working with my clients is to see their growth, not only on the profit and loss, but in their attitudes and their understanding of their business and how to make competitive edge out of their profit and loss and other statements. The way I can tell this is I get to watch the complexity of their questions change. I was a classroom teacher once, and I taught 8th grade math. And if you know 8th graders, they're notoriously not going to say a whole lot. They're afraid that people will think that they don't know what they're talking about. I'd like to change our attitude about that. I don't tell people's intelligence by the statements they make. I tell their intelligence by the questions they ask. Think of this. If you don't know anything about a topic, you'll have a very difficult time asking a question. And what happens is that as you know more about a topic, you're able to generate more complex questions. So I would tell my students in the 8th grade classroom, questions are a good thing. If you have a question today, that means you learned something yesterday. And I love translating this over to our partners. Our partners ask questions like, in our budget, is my marketing number okay? Can we save money on this expense? Is the profit margin in a position where we can shave 5% off to be more competitive? What's the volume we'd have to return on that? Those kinds of questions are way more complex and so much more exciting and lead you down a growth path and a competitive edge against others in your industry that is very, very powerful. We want to see our businesses grow. We want to see our businesses to become competitive. When they start asking more questions, we know we're on the right track. And remember, when the books add up, you win. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have a growth-filled day.